Microorganisms, friend or enemy? Introduction. We are surrounded by numerous living organisms. Some of these organisms are visible, while some are not. Those organisms which are not visible to unaided eye but can only be viewed under a microscope are called microorganisms. The study of such microorganisms is called microbiology. Microorganisms are found almost in every environment. They can be found in hot deserts, cold polar regions, fertile plains, hot springs, lakes, ponds, wells, and even inside our bodies. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Some of them are beneficial in many ways, whereas some others are harmful and cause diseases. The first scientist to study microorganisms under a self-made microscope was Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Types of microorganisms. Microorganisms can be classified into 5 major groups. Microorganisms: bacteria, viruses, fungi, algae, protozoa. Bacteria. Bacteria are single-celled organisms. Most bacterial cells measure between 0.2 and 10 microns. 1 micron is equal to 1 upon 1000 of a milliliter. About 250 crore bacteria are present in 1 gram of garden soil. Each bacterial cell exists singly, but sometimes cling together to form long chains. Bacteria have an outer covering known as cell wall. The nucleus is not organized. The cytoplasm is colloidal in nature and contains about 70 to 85% water. They multiply very fast. Some bacteria multiply within every 20 to 30 minutes. They are both useful and harmful to humans, animals, and plants. Bacteria exist in 3 different shapes. These are rod-shaped bacteria. They are also called bacillus or bacilli. Escherichia coli, spiral-shaped bacteria. They are also called spirillum or spirilla. Treponema, spherical-shaped bacteria. They are called coccus. Staphylococcus aureus. Viruses. Viruses are the most primitive microorganisms. They show characteristics of both living and non-living organisms. They are so tiny that they cannot be seen by a light microscope. They can be observed only by an electron microscope, which has 2 lakh times magnification power. Viruses are the cause of many diseases in animals and plants. All viruses are parasitic. They become active once they enter the host cell. They use the energy of the host cells to multiply. After multiplication, viruses spread into other cells, causing infection. As a result, the host cell finally dies, making the person ill. The size of viruses varies from 0.01 to 0.3 microns. Viruses are of different shapes and sizes. Some examples of viruses are Ebola, influenza, polio, varicella zoster, AIDS, etc. Fungi. Fungi or fungus are non-green plants that lack chlorophyll. They are not capable of producing their own food. They grow in damp, dark, and moist places, like moist clothes and old shoes. The body of fungus is made of thread-like thin filaments called hyphae. A mass of hyphae is called mycelium. Some fungi are unicellular, while most are multicellular. Yeast is unicellular. Bread mold and mushroom are multicellular fungi. Algae. Algae are simple plant-like organisms which can be seen floating as green mass on the surface of stagnant water. They are capable of producing their own food owing to the presence of chlorophyll in them. Algae grow on wet and moist surface. They may be unicellular, multicellular, filamentous, or branched. Algae contain various colors and hence are of different varieties, like green algae, red algae, brown algae, and blue-green algae. Some common algae are Spirogyra, Chlorella, Fucus, Chlamydomonas, and Laminaria. Protozoa. Protozoa or protozoan are simple microscopic unicellular organisms mostly found in ponds, lakes, drains, moist soil, and ditches. Some protozoa are symbiotic and live in the gut of termites. The size of a protozoan varies from 2 to 200 microns. Some common protozoa are amoeba, paramecium, euglena, and trypanosoma. Amoeba traps food and moves with the help of pseudopodia. Pseudo means false and podium means foot. Paramecium has cilia all over its body, which are small, bristle-like hair that help in locomotion. Euglena has flagellum, whip-like structure for its movement. It is remarkable as it possesses chlorophyll and can make its own food. It is considered a connecting link between plants and animals. Harmful microorganisms. There are many microorganisms which cause diseases in plants, animals, and humans. These disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens or germs. The pathogens enter the body of the living organism through air, water, food, or physical contact. Such diseases which transmit from an infected person to another are called communicable diseases. The agents which transmit disease-causing microorganisms from an infected person to a healthy person are called carriers or vectors. Houseflies and mosquitoes. Mode of transmission of communicable diseases. Communicable diseases are transmitted from an infected person by these ways. Through air. When a sick person sneezes or coughs, germs are released into the air. These germs immediately infect the other person nearby, as in common cold, cough, and flu. Through food and water. Cholera, hepatitis, amoebic dysentery, and typhoid spread through the consumption of contaminated food and water. Through direct contact. The diseases like ringworm and chickenpox spread through direct contact with the sick person. Through insects. The insects like mosquitoes, flies, and fleas spread many diseases. When a mosquito bites an infected person, it carries microbes with it and transfers to a healthy person on biting. Diseases like malaria, dengue, chikungunya, and yellow fever spread in this way. Fleas carry bacterium causing plague from rats to humans. Flies also carry germs from contaminated food to clean food. Through cuts and wounds. Diseases like tetanus spread through cuts and wounds. Diseases caused by microorganisms in animals and plants. Microorganisms also cause diseases in animals. Some of these diseases are mentioned here. Anthrax is a common disease caused by bacteria in cattle. It occurs through contaminated soil. Humans can also get infection through the infected animals. Rinderpest is a viral disease which occurs in animals because of the contaminated air, water, and infected animals. Foot and mouth diseases of cattle are caused by contact with other diseased animals. Many plants like wheat, rice, potato, okra, sugarcane, orange, and apple also get infected with several diseases caused by microorganisms. Useful microorganisms. We have just read about the harmful microorganisms. Now, we will talk about the microorganisms which can be our friends. Bacteria. Bacteria are useful in these ways. They are decomposers, hence, they help in decomposing dead plants and animals. This way, they act as cleansing agents of the environment. Ammonia is released by bacteria during decomposition. This ammonia gets mixed with the soil, thereby making the soil more suitable for the growth of plants. Nitrogen-fixing rhizobium bacteria fix the nitrogen from air into the soil. They are used by legumes in the synthesis of proteins. They are used in leather, jute, and tobacco industries. The hide of animals is cleaned in tanneries to obtain leather. In jute industry, jute fibers are separated with the help of bacteria. They help in making food items like curd and cheese. A small amount of curd, called starter, which contains lactobacillus bacteria, is added to the milk. A few hours later, this milk changes into curd. Cheese is also made by curdling of milk using lactobacillus bacteria. They are used in making antibodies. Antibiotic is a substance that kills the germs or stops their growth. Some examples of antibiotics made using bacteria are streptomycin, tetracycline, and chloramphenicol. Each antibiotic works differently and acts on different types of bacteria. They are useful in the separation of jute fibers from the stem. The plants are tied in bundles and soaked in water. The bacteria enters the stems and gradually loosen the supporting fibers. Idli and dosa are made by grinding the rice and pulses to paste. The mixture is then allowed to stand for few hours. The bacteria present in the mixture cause fermentation, and the mixture rises and becomes sour. Some bacteria in our gastrointestinal tract help in digestion. These are called commensals. The commensals reside in our body and are beneficial to us. Fungi. Yeast is used in bakeries to make the dough soft. It is also used in making dhokla light and fluffy. Mushroom, a multicellular fungus, is used as a food item. Fungi are used in making medicines like penicillin and vitamin B complex. Yeast is also used in making alcohol, brewing. Fungi decompose dead plants and animals. They help in recycling of nutrients. Algae. Algae like chlorella is used in preparing antibiotics and various types of medicines. Laminaria, a multicellular alga, is used as a cattle food. Seaweeds like porphyra, multicellular alga, is used as a food item in countries like Japan. Fish feed on freshwater algae and marine algae. Agar, used in ice cream and jellies, is obtained from seaweeds. Blue-green algae like nostoc and anabina are good nitrogen fixers and make the soil fertile. Agar and algin, obtained from algae, are used in the preparation of medicines and cosmetics. They are used in making tooth powder, glass, and polish. Protozoa. Some protozoa work as decomposers in the degradation of waste and sewage. They act as an important component in various food chains. Zooplanktons, a type of protozoa, are main food of fish and blue whales. Some protozoa and bacteria live in the digestive tract of animals, like cows, goats, and sheep. They help in breaking down cellulose, a hard, fibrous material present in plants. Medicinal use of microorganisms. You have read about antibiotics. The antibiotics are made by using bacteria and fungi. When you fall sick due to some infection, the doctor prescribes you some antibiotic in the form of tablets, capsules, syrups, or injections. The antibiotic kills or stops the growth of disease-causing microorganisms.